That's much better. Well, welcome to Southwestern College and our new Performing Arts Center. We are going to get our program started, but I have a few little logistic things. The bathroom is around the corner, outside of the exits. We do ask that you please keep your mask on while indoors. You will see that the speakers will take off their masks so that you can hear them, but we do ask you in the audience to keep your mask on. Okay, so with that, we will get our program started, and it's such an honor for me to be able to introduce our Southwestern College student trustee, May Perez.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Southwestern College and our new Performing Arts Center. Our students and faculty are currently preparing for our spring show, The Addams Family, and I hope that you'll join us in the audience when the show opens on Monday, March 21st through Wednesday, March 23rd. And today, we're going to begin our program today with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land upon which we sit and occupy today as the current traditional and ancestral home of the Kumeyaay Nation. Before they were colonized and genocide occurred, Kumeyaay territory was vast and included Baja California to the south, Palomar Mountains to the north, and the Salton Sea to the east, and in fact included Southwestern College locations of Chula Vista, San Ysidro, National City, and Otay Mesa. Without them, we would not have access to this gathering or any of the services and benefits our district provides. We take this opportunity to recognize the more than 500 years of demonstrated resilience and resistance in the face of violent actions taken by colonizers in efforts to separate them from their land, culture, and one another. We acknowledge that despite this history, the Kumeyaay Nation continue to be an active, thriving people who contribute to the health and benefit of our region. Let us not only remember, but acknowledge as a conscientious political act that the land that we are on is occupied Kumeyaay territory. It is now my pleasure to introduce former Southwestern College trustee and Southwestern College graduate, and now San Diego County Supervisor Nora Vargas.
Hello, buenas tardes. Thank you, Trustee Perez. I just have to say it's such a beautiful, beautiful facility. I'm so excited. Do you all remember when we passed the bond? Yes. Well, okay, I'm going to be formal now. Thank you, Trustee Perez, and I am so proud to join all of you here today, Superintendent President Mark Sanchez, Chancellor Oakley, and my former colleagues and colleagues on the governing board. It is so great to be back here at Southwestern College and to see so many familiar faces. Everybody knows who knows me that I am so proud to be a Jaguar, and every chance that I get, I let folks know that I'm a community college transfer student and that I am so proud that Southwestern College is my alma mater. I often say to folks that I credit my engagement in public service to Southwestern College and to that one professor, Alma Aguilar, that opened my eyes to a whole new world that I fell in love with. Yes, political science. It was here at Southwestern College that curiosity sparked to better understand systems of governance and power and political activities, laws, and how eventually this little immigrant girl from Tijuana could eventually stand before you and be making the laws. Southwestern College was also the reason why I ran for supervisor, because it was here where I saw firsthand how faculty were struggling and heard stories of some that were sleeping in the cars and some of our students were going hungry. I'm never going to forget how we voted for our unsheltered students to be able to shower in our recently built state-of-the-art gym. And I was so proud that our staff and the work that we did together to think outside the box to create the JAG Kitchen. And in the last year of my presidency, that's when our college was hit with COVID. I've had the honor of representing the college first as a trustee and now as a supervisor, and our partnership has not been stronger than it is today. During COVID, Southwestern College has served as a food distribution site, helping provide not only our students, but our South Bay families with food supplies. In addition, as we looked at increasing access to vaccines in our community, Southwestern College stepped up and served as a pop-up vaccine site, serving hundreds of students and residents in our most impacted communities and contributed to our highest percentage of vaccines here in South County. I will say that the first community that was vaccinated the highest was San Isidro, and it was thanks to Southwestern College that opened their doors in the San Isidro Center that our community of San Isidro was the first one to make sure that we had 99% rate. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the trust that the community has in Southwestern College. I'm happy to report that as of March 2nd, the South Region has 93.9% fully vaccinated, yes. And 99% has at least one dose of the vaccine. This is great news, especially for our South County, which was the most impacted by the pandemic. And this again proves the power of community and working together. We have a lot of opportunities to continue our work in our partnership due to the positions as a member of CARB, right? We're working really strongly to make sure that we're making sure that our communities have access to clean air. As chair of transportation of SANDAG, I'm very excited to share that I've been fighting to make sure that we have no-cost transportation for our students, but we're going to start off with the first phase, which is students who are 18 and under are going to be able to have no-cost transportation starting on May 1st. My goal is 26, but bueno, baby steps, ni modo. And then we're going to make sure that through ARPA funding, we're going to have more resources available for all of you, because truly, the county can't do its work without partnering without Southwestern College. And I know that you're going to be hearing from Chancellor Oakley and from your president, Alberto Alcantar, and from our superintendent president. But this work and the work that we're doing, it has to be done together. Our ARPA funding and the funds that we get would not be able to get to our communities if we don't do it in partnership with Southwestern College. I was very excited that we were able to allocate $75,000 of funding from District 1 specifically for the Southwestern College Foundation to ensure that those funds go strictly to our communities and to our programs. And this is only the beginning of the great work that we're going to be doing, because Southwestern College is and will always be the jewel of the South Bay. You have my commitment that together we're going to continue to ensure that everyone knows how powerful and important South County is, not only to our region, but to the state of California. And I know that today you're going to be hearing firsthand about the binational program and the work that you're all going to be doing, specifically to enhance and highlight the power of our binational community and how important it is to our region. I know that together we need to make sure the governor understands that investing in San Diego County, from funding to address everything from the Tijuana River Valley, because you know that I can't have a speech without talking about the Tijuana River Valley, to our students, to investing in the future of California and investing in the future of this country. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here today and to join you. It is my pleasure to welcome my good friend who I had the honor of serving with and who I know has been leading this college through this pandemic, our governing board president, Roberto Alcantar.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Supervisor Vargas. It's always great to welcome you back to the center, which was approved for construction while you were on our board. And everyone, welcome. It's truly an honor to have you here today. This may be the first time many of you are joining us in our new venue, but definitely I hope it will not be your last. As Student Trustee Paris mentioned, our first musical, The Addams Family, begins next week, and I hope you will join us again. For those of you who may not know, our Performing Arts Center is also the South County home of the San Diego Symphony. Our next concert here is Sunday, April 3rd, so head over to sandiegosymphony.org for more information. We have a very informative program in store for you. We are so lucky to not only hear a presentation about the future of Southwestern College by our president, Dr. Mark Sanchez, but California Community College's Chancellor, Eloy Ortiz-Oakley, will give us a state perspective of higher education and the legislation we should be following to support our students and community. Before we move along in the program any further, let me introduce the dignitaries we have here with us this afternoon. We have quite a long list, which is great. So, first off, I'd like to start with my fellow Southwestern College governing board members. We have Vice President Kieran Macapugai, members Leticia Cáceres, Griselda Delgado, Don Dumas, and student trustee May Paris, who you've already met. Former trustee and current CBOC member Norma Hernandez, ASO President Sonia Camargo. We have our foundation board members, Chair Gustavo Perez, Vice Chair Joseph Martinez, Secretary Kathy Tyner, Treasurer Sally Preston, and Directors Melon Acacio, Sequan Tribal Chairwoman Lashuna Davidson, Mora de Murguia, Ricardo Macedo, Kevin Marshall, and Chayo Moreno. We also have County Supervisor and former governing board member Nora Vargas, who you've also already met. We have a great guest from the city of Chula Vista, Mayor Mary Casillas Salas, Deputy Mayor Andrea Cardenas, Councilmember Joe Galvez, Councilmember John McCann, and City Manager Maria Cachadorian. We also have Sweetwater Union High School District Board Member Nick Segura, South Bay Union School District Vice President Cheryl Quinones, Chula Vista Elementary School District Superintendent Dr. Eduardo Reyes, and we also have San Isidro School Board Member Humberto Gurmian. We have our college and university partners. We have Palomar College Board Vice President Roberto Rodriguez, Palomar College Superintendent President Dr. Star Rivera Lacey, Miracosta Superintendent President Dr. Sunny Cook, Diana Woolfolk from CETIS, Joseph Allen and Morning Masood from National University, Aaron Torgerson from Point Loma Nazarene University, Noel Bizet Flores from San Diego State University, Diana Atondo and Guillermo Navarro from UABC, and David Copeland from Western Governors University. We also have some community partners here with us today. Sequan Tribal Chairman Cody Martinez, Moana Alu representing Assembly Member Aquila Weber, and Elizabeth Rodriguez representing San Diego Councilmember Vivian Moreno. Can we please get a round of applause for all our special guests today? Now I just want to thank you again for joining us today to see our accomplishments and where we are headed. I can't tell you enough how often I walk around this campus and I am just blown away. I first set foot on this campus when I was 6 years old, and I never would have dreamed of being here before all of you today and seeing the great facilities that we have to offer our community. Y para nuestros compañeros que vienen aquí de Baja California, bienvenidos a su colegio. We're ready to build those bridges across the border and establish the binational university. So thank you for being here today and letting us show you how we're making strides in building the community college that our community truly deserves. So it is now my pleasure to introduce governing board member and former governing board president, Leticia Cáceres. Thank you.
Hello, welcome. Good to see all of you here. I am very proud as well, also an alum of Southwestern College. In fact, it goes back further than that. My mom and dad my mom just showed me a graduation certificate from 1966, I believe, for my dad. He was part of the very first graduating class, so definitely have a lot of roots here, and I'm so proud to be up here sharing the incredible accomplishments. As President Alcantar mentioned, we have representatives from every segment of the Southwestern College community. I am particularly happy to have Supervisor Vargas with us and want to recognize that she was instrumental and has been instrumental in helping us achieve so many accomplishments during her time on the board and now as supervisor. Thank you, Supervisor. You continue to demonstrate, love and commitment to the students and community. We are grateful for your support and want you to know that our governing board remained busy addressing student employee needs over the last 2 years to make you proud. I'm hoping that each of you picked up our handout on the way into the theater. We will have more in the lobby as you leave. I'm so proud of our college and campus community, so I'd like to walk you through just some of the many accomplishments of which we are most proud. You heard our student trustee, May Perez, provide a land acknowledgement before we began our program today. That was a conscientious decision by our governing board to recognize our history and honor the Kumeyaay Nation, whose land we occupy. It is just one way to acknowledge them and their continued contributions. We moved from words to actions last December when we waived rental fees for the 13 federally recognized Kumeyaay tribes in San Diego County. We look forward to strengthening our relationships with the Kumeyaay and other indigenous peoples. Thank you, Sequan Tribal Chairman Cody Martinez and Sequan Tribal, this is all stuck together here, sorry. Councilmember Lashana Davidson for joining us today. It is important to recognize, embrace, and develop strong relationships with the many communities and cultures that make up our Southwestern College community. One of the most concerted efforts every segment of our college community worked on was the support we provided our students during the pandemic. The digital divide within our community became abundantly clear during the pandemic when we moved all of our instruction and support services online. We discovered our students and staff didn't have access to reliable internet and technology at home. Our foundation led the efforts to purchase low-cost computers, and our SWC Cares community helped with distribution and Wi-Fi devices. Our food services and Southwestern Cares pivoted from cafeteria services to drive-through, JAG Kitchen to go food distributions. Food insecurity is a significant issue for many of our students. We know that we must do more to address it. That's why I want to recognize our efforts over the pandemic to strengthen our relationship with the County of San Diego, including the Health and Human Services Department agency. As a result, we were able to advance our efforts to offer a service that only 11 colleges in the state do. Students will soon be able to purchase hot food from our food vendors and cafeteria with an EBT card. Yes, this will mean students will not have to go hungry and instead be able to focus on their studies. This is something we should all be proud of. Dr. Sanchez will speak a little bit more in his presentation on our community partnerships that helped us to expand our student and employee services. I cannot begin to thank all of our employees who imagine new ways to service our students and each other over the last 2 years. In addition to all this remote work, a magnificent team of faculty and administrators compiled our self-evaluation report to successfully renew our college accreditation. That deserves a big hand. As you will see in the handout, our visiting team applauded our efforts to provide online education and specifically commended our College Bound program for high school students and our restorative justice program for our students at Donovan Prison. That's another one. I can go on and on about how proud I am of our restorative justice program and the team. But I know Dr. Sanchez will share some of our amazing accomplishments at Donovan during his presentation. But I will just say that I've had the privilege of attending several classes and even a graduation during the pandemic. I am so moved by the work that they're doing in this program that today I am committed to creating a scholarship program for their students and graduates who continue their education, and I'm committing $2,000 today to create that. Anyone else want to contribute? Finally, I want to touch on something many in our community may not know. That's the economic impact Southwestern College and our alumni bring to our region. You can see additional details in the handout, but I want to outline a couple of the impressive contributions we provide to South County. Combined, college operations and our alumni impact provide $440 million annually to the region. $440 million annually to the region. For every dollar the community invests in Southwestern College, they get $7.10 in return for students who enter the California workforce. Yes. If you study the stock market, that's a much greater return on investment these days. I encourage you to read all the details of our recent highlights in your handout and to share that good news with your network. It is now my pleasure to segue into the main portion of our presentation today, and that's Dr. Sanchez's vision for our college community moving forward and the state perspective provided by our Chancellor Oakley. Dr. Sanchez is celebrating his 13-month anniversary as our superintendent president. Dr. Sanchez brings more than 20 years of community college leadership, teaching and instruction, and workforce development expertise to Southwestern. Also a graduate of Southwestern College, Dr. Sanchez is a strong supporter of whole person development and services that assist college students in completing their educational, career, and personal goals. In the short time he has been here, he has set the foundation for spreading Southwestern College's influence even further throughout our region. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Mark Sanchez.
Don't encourage me, team. How awesome is that? I have to breathe this in for a minute because it's just amazing to be back in person. Good afternoon, everyone. How amazing is it to be in this world-class facility in person? I must start out by acknowledging the difficulty of the past several years. We've endured significant challenges as a community, yet through our resounding spirit as a college district, we've demonstrated a steadfast resolve to serve. Some of the most powerful images I have since reopening is students and employees talking, laughing, engaging. The power of the human connection. It's great to be back with all of you. It's important that I acknowledge the reason we are back in person. Our amazing people, our students, our faculty, our classified professionals, our confidential professionals, our executive leadership team, and our amazing governing board. Our Jaguar community was ready to return. Everyone simply wanted the best in health and safety protocols. Thank you for your heart, your care, and your commitment to our community and our mission. Our college has 3 core missions: enrollment, engagement, and completion. We do this through educational skill building and community education, preparing students for transfer to 4-year universities, and preparing students to enter the workforce in high-wage jobs. That's an imperative to be able to live a quality lifestyle in the community in which we live, because we know how expensive it is to live here. One of the more notable elements of our regional programming is the amazing work our college team does in preparing our community with English language skills through our ESL program, assisting our community in being able to move into higher level professional positions as a result of the programming we deliver. Through the work of academic affairs, our cutting-edge programs are aligned with our local workforce needs. For example, we have our drone technology program at our Chula Vista campus. I don't know if any of you saw when you were coming in our students flying the drones in our parking lot. Dental hygiene at our higher education center in National City. Our optical program through our continuing education department, also held at our National City campus. Our cybersecurity program, our emergency medical technician program, fire science, police, and nursing at our higher education center in Otay Mesa. Surfing, stand-up paddleboard, sailing, and CPR at our Crown Cove Aquatic Center. These courses meet an important niche in our community and contribute to work-life balance. And of course, child development at our higher education center in San Isidro. In addition, some of the more notable workforce development highlights at Southwestern College include creating more opportunities for employers to become involved with our faculty and students, increasing awareness of programs that train employees at their workplace, increasing the number of non-credit and not-for-credit courses and programs that address our workforce needs and provide pathways to credit career education programs, implementing a marketing campaign in English and Spanish that highlights certificate programs that can be completed in 1 year or less, and following up more regularly with students who graduate from our career education programs. Our college leads with diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism at the forefront. Our employees stepped up to help our students during the most isolated times during the pandemic. You can read more in detail on the State of the District handout, yet here are some highlights of the amazing work of our student affairs team. Southwestern College has distributed more than $29 million in direct federal COVID relief aid to students. Yes, you can give it up. Our food services department and Southwestern Cares provided JAG Kitchen to Go distributions throughout the pandemic, and those distributions continue today. We provided technology and grants for students to purchase technology they need for online learning. And for students who have returned to in-person courses, there are no parking fees, eliminating another potential financial barrier to students. Eliminating another financial barrier to students being able to access our campuses. In the last few years, we've developed and grew our student learning community programs, including our Umoja program, which serves our African American students, our Puente students, which serves our Latinx students, our Bayan students, which serves our Filipinx students, our CHAO program, which serves our LGBTQ+ community of students, first year experience, our Dreamer program, and athletics. In addition, the student affairs team is developing a Men of Color program focused on Black and Latinx student support for our men. Two groups of students we know that through data analysis of our enrollment who have been significantly impacted by the pandemic. We are proud to be recognized as an official Hispanic serving and Asian American and Native American Pacific Islander serving institution. Throughout the pandemic, our community partners also made Southwestern College home base for some of its largest community efforts, including Feeding San Diego. The first food distribution at Southwestern College was on April 24th, 2021. Since then, there have been 19 drive-through distributions in which 1.2 million pounds of food has been distributed to more than 78,000 local community members. County Health and Human Services, San Isidro Health, and Champions for Health have provided vaccination clinics at all of our campuses. An added bonus is that San Isidro Health and Champions for Health used our first responder and nursing students to help administer the vaccines and boosters. Additional highlights of our leadership in diversity, equity, and inclusion work includes the amazing work in our restorative justice program. In the picture, you can see Maurice Mo Faulkner, who graduated in spring 2019, received his diploma at our June 2021 governing board meeting. He earned his associate degree for transfer in business administration and expects to transfer to San Diego State University as a social work major. Yeah. Sean Khalifa graduated in the spring of 2021, and he is now attending San Diego State University. Jennifer Gomez graduated in the spring of 2020 with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science from the University of California, San Diego last fall. And this is the photo of last year's commencement at Donovan. Yeah. I can see the joy in your eyes, Patrice. Highlights from the Restorative Justice Program include there have been 1,259 unique students participating in restorative justice courses from spring 2016 to fall 2021. 350 students are enrolled this current semester. 34 unique students have earned 40 awards during the years 2019 to 2021. Those awards have been Associates of Arts in Social and Behavioral Sciences and in Arts and Humanities. Students have also earned associate degrees for transfer in Business Administration and Sociology. And a unique certificate program is being offered in restorative justice, and that includes American Sign Language. Simply amazing work highlighting the tremendous assets of our students. Thank you, Patrice, for your leadership in that work. In addition to all of this amazing work, we're also reimagining our college police department, working to implement a true college community safety on campus program. We partnered with Mr. Al Abdallah from the San Diego Urban League, a long-standing San Diego community-based organization focused on diversity, equity, anti-racism, and inclusion work. Al and our chief, Marco Barreño, conducted 8 focus group meetings with a wide range of stakeholder groups from September 21 through December 2021. The two-hour sessions were open-ended discussions in a safe space. The open-ended questions were based upon results from a baseline survey answered by more than 2,400 students and staff. More than 2,000 of the responses were directly from our students. Students and staff mostly expressed satisfaction with college police, saying they respected individuals' rights, prevented crime, and worked together with groups on campus. Where there was a strong point of input was requesting our college police department examine policies and use of force moving forward. In order to reimagine, we needed to engage in difficult conversations with our constituents. The next steps for our college police department is some of the practical steps they've taken is they've changed their uniforms to help students and the community members feel more at ease when approaching them. They're working together with students to help eliminate fears about policing on campus. They're recruiting student ambassadors among our student leaders. And they're providing additional opportunities for college police to interact with students, faculty, and staff in neutral ways, like barbecues, coffee with the cop, and other activities. Diversity, equity, and inclusion work in the classroom. Our Office of Equity and Engagement has developed the Advancing Equity in Teaching Academy. ADA is a 1-year-long faculty professional development program designed to close equity gaps and build inclusive learning practices. In this program, the faculty explore, sorry, I just lost my spot. Accidentally clicked out of it. In this program, faculty explore the systemic barriers in education and what they can do to promote success in marginalized communities. Faculty participants have come from all schools and higher education centers, as well as our disability support services, personal wellness services, counseling, library, instructional support services, and the Academic Success Center. This program has become the model in the region. Southwestern College has committed to serve student veterans with veterans. We are currently serving 800 veterans and military affiliated students. Our program is staffed by veterans and student veterans in our Veterans Resource Center, which provides a computer lab, peer-to-peer book exchange, and peer-to-peer tutoring. Our full-time veterans coordinator also provides workshops on student education plans, assessing GI benefits, and all available student support services. Our VRC also coordinates many partnerships with nonprofit organizations such as Courage to Call and the Marine Corps League to provide food assistance and toys for tots, along with coordinating mental health and other support to our local military families. Our VRC was recognized for excellence and presented with a proclamation from San Diego County Supervisor Nora Vargas last November. Through the Purchase a Brick program in the Sergeant Rafael Peralta Garden, the VRC is able to offer direct scholarships to our veteran students. Southwestern College has consistently been named a military-friendly school, and this year reached gold status from Victory. As we vision forward, a major goal for Southwestern College is to bring UC, CSU, and private university degree options to students without them ever having to leave their community. You can read more about the specific, that program will come to fruition. You can read more about the specific programs offered by our partners at Point Loma Nazarene University, National University, and San Diego State University in the handout. Thank you to our partners for being here today. Southwestern College is also building a university center on the Chula Vista campus, where a variety of higher education institutions can share space with our programs. The building is scheduled to open in 2020 of Chula Vista. Thank you, Mayor Salas, for being here today. In their efforts to bring four-year degrees. Excellent partnership. How many times recently have I presented at City Council? And so just a tremendous opportunity to bring four-year degrees to our university and innovation district. Our college has been able to effectively leverage in advertising dollars to significantly close the enrollment gaps before each semester begins. We have used the strategies on the screen to specifically target our current students and prospective students in the digital space they are comfortable in. Our social media ads include photos and videos, and we use technology to help students who are already looking at our programs to get them to take the next step and enroll. This fall, we also implemented a series of 3 videos in English and Spanish, including marketing in our binational region, that highlighted our financial aid, tutoring, and Southwestern Cares resources. The videos were viewed by 2.8 million individuals, with more than 28,000 users clicking for more information on the district website. We began the spring enrollment season with a 34% enrollment gap compared to the same time last year. By the time classes began in February, that gap was cut to single digits. Yeah. And we're still working on closing that gap even further through the addition of our late start courses. A comprehensive connection plan with our community through our outreach and marketing departments. I have to take a pause. There's a lot of work being done at this district, and it has been a tremendous amount of work. Through the work of our Business and Financial Affairs Office, yeah. You can give Dr. Hall some love. Yeah. Southwestern College received planning grants that will allow us to explore quality, and I say that intentionally, quality, affordable student and staff housing at each of our 4 campuses. You may have recently read that San Diego has now surpassed Los Angeles and San Francisco as the most expensive city to live in California. You can read the additional details in the handout about our plans, but we are looking to create learning and living hubs for our community. The complexes will include cafeteria options, healthcare, childcare, and a basic needs student support service center. we will utilize additional state-funded resources to get us to these goals. The exciting work lies ahead of us as we begin bringing our stakeholders together to start the planning processes. Southwestern College, being a partner in addressing a major societal issue, affordable, quality housing, is something that should make us all very proud of. In addition, the district is currently exploring another bond measure in November 2022. This bond would be in the amount of $600 million. We are currently polling at about 64%. The district has updated its facilities master plan, which dives deeper into the long-term projects, including student and employee housing. The district has been very focused on its fiduciary responsibilities with propositions R and Z. You can see some of the highlights of our construction program in the handout. This is a major endeavor at a critical time. Yet we must remember our facilities are the engine which drive our ability to prepare the next generation of our workforce. In this very building, in the beginning of February of this year, world-class violinist Elena Uriost and the San Diego Symphony performed the Four Seasons of Vivaldi. Prior to the performance, the musicians and the conductor spent time with our music students and faculty. The students walked away with an expansion of their vision for their futures. As we emerge from the pandemic, we have a tremendous opportunity to work in new ways with our binational partners and binational economy. A report released by the University of San Diego last month showed the regional gross domestic product of almost $250 billion a year for the Cali-Baja region. In addition to the manufacturing economic impacts, the report showed that in 2018, a total of 30,932 higher education degrees were conferred in San Diego County, and 18,800 higher education degrees were conferred in Baja California, with more than 30% awarded in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields across both geographical areas. We know that in business and industry, one of our most major engineering firms, Solar Turbines, also employs 1,800 workers in our Baja California, Tijuana region. Southwestern College has enjoyed many partnerships with our cross-border universities and businesses, yet we were using portions of staff time or assignments. Last semester, we created a full-time binational and international programs director in office, and the investment is already paying off. I welcome our partners from UABC and CETIS who have joined us today. We are very near to signing an MOU with UABC where their students can attend Southwestern College classes for the in-state tuition rate. We are working to establish a 2+2 articulation agreement so Southwestern College students can participate in CETIS Summer International Program. And we're looking to reactivate the collaborative academic partnership with the Universidad Tecnológica de Tijuana. Our director is making connections with our cross-border partners and elected officials with the goal of bringing together a summit of university presidents on both sides of the border to Southwestern College. If there's one thing you leave with today is the future for Southwestern College is bright and full of opportunities, true to the standard of excellence that exists here. Thank you. And now it is my privilege to introduce our state chancellor for the California Community College System, Eloy Ortiz-Oakley. He, like many of our students and families and myself, embodies the impact the California community colleges have in transforming lives. He grew up in South Los Angeles, the son of a U.S. citizen, father who was schooled in Mexico, and a mother who was a Mexican immigrant. After serving 4 years in the Army, he enrolled at Golden West College and transferred to the University of California, Irvine, where he earned his bachelor's degree in environmental analysis and design and a master's degree in business administration. Chancellor Oakley returned to Golden West College as an adjunct professor and moved his way up to educational leadership when he was appointed superintendent president of the Long Beach Community College District in 2007. There, he partnered with Long Beach Unified School District and Cal State Long Beach to create a nationally recognized Long Beach College Promise. In 2015, President Obama launched the America's College Promise Initiative, modeled in part on the Long Beach Promise. Chancellor Oakley has served as the Chancellor for the California Community Colleges since December 2016 and is the architect of the Vision for Success. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Oakley, who will give us the state perspective on higher education.
Thank you, thank you. Buenas tardes. It's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Wonderful to be back here at Southwestern College. Seems like just yesterday we brought the Board of Governors here, my bosses from the state, to spend time at Southwestern College, really focused on understanding the importance of colleges to communities like this. Communities like this that serve not only the community of Chula Vista, but here on the border, serving those in Baja California. So thank you for the work that you do. I also want to recognize my colleague and friend, the president of Maricosta College, Dr. Sunny Cook, who I saw earlier. Thank you for being here. And thank the faculty, the classified staff, the managers, supervisors, and administrators who have given so much of themselves, not only on a day-to-day basis in normal times, but so much of themselves throughout this pandemic, and now as we begin to recover, the work that you're doing to open your doors back to students. So please, thank you for the work that you do, and please give our faculty staff a round of applause. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about the state perspective. I'll touch on the federal perspective as well, since it's so important to us in the California Community Colleges. I have to remind folks that we are the largest system of higher education in the nation. We should be not just at the table, but at the front of the table when it comes to federal policy and how it affects our students. And I'll touch a little bit on some of the critical issues that are happening that we're focused on right now. Of course, the main thing that we're focused on is a post-pandemic recovery. Our colleges are key to a recovery for our communities. And we're fortunate in California. We have 116 colleges. We have colleges in just about every community in California. And no one knows our communities better than our colleges. No one knows this community better than Southwestern College. So we're focused on positioning our colleges, supporting our faculty and staff as we begin to think about what the recovery looks like. And at the heart of that recovery must be equity. The recovery cannot look like where we were before the pandemic. The recovery cannot look like we were right after the Great Recession. The recovery cannot look like what we saw during the summer of racial reckoning not too long ago. The post-pandemic recovery must be centered on equity for communities like this and communities up and down the state of California. We have seen the devastation that the pandemic has caused to our communities. We saw the devastation happening before the pandemic. The pandemic only exacerbated the challenges that our students face. Before the pandemic, we were already seeing record levels of housing insecurity, of food insecurity, of mental health challenges. The pandemic has only made these issues worse for our communities. And it's an odd time in states like California. We have a record budget surplus right now. Why? Because the state of California's budget relies so heavily on the top 5% of earners. So guess what? The top 5% of earners have done pretty darn well during the pandemic. But communities like this, all around here, are the ones who have been hurting the most. So we've got to put the emphasis on these communities. Communities like this in Chula Vista, the Inland Empire, the Central Valley, places in the far north, where communities and students have been hit the hardest. Now, I have the privilege of being part of this system since I was a student at Golden West College, and I've never seen a more resilient group of students in my life. I spent a lot of time in higher education, both at the University of California with my colleagues at the Cal State, spent some time throughout states in America, hearing about what's happening in their states. California Community Colleges has the most resilient group of students in America. And it is because of that we have to put the emphasis on those students. So our number one priority in the Chancellor's Office of the State of California is increasing the amount of Cal Grant aid that goes to California Community College students. We're fortunate that Governor Newsom understands the challenges that our students face. We're fortunate that he understands that investing in our students is important, but we need to do more to ensure that he and the state legislature understand that there's got to be an ongoing commitment to California Community College students. Our students have much less access to the Cal Grant system than a student at the Cal State University or the University of California has. Our students have greater needs than students attending those institutions. So it is time now, given the budget surplus that we have, that we make an investment in the future of the California workforce, and that future means investing in our students. So I hope that you join us in the California Community College Chancellor's Office with our partners throughout the state in pushing for a greater investment in California aid for our students, not just our documented students, but our undocumented students as well. So that's priority number one. Right alongside with that priority is this notion of equity. We have been, like many of you, I was horrified when I watched the murder of George Floyd. And like many of you, it caused me to, again, reconsider where we're at as a society, as Californians, as a nation, around the issue of equity and racial justice. This moment in time demands that we do more. We cannot sit back and watch the challenges that we saw throughout the last 6 years continue into the future. And I know that this also creates a lot of uncomfortability in proactively discussing challenges on campus, challenges in our community in terms of racial equity. But it's because of colleges like you that we're having these discussions up and down the state, and we must prioritize them. We must prioritize them, not just for ourselves, but for our students who have been growing up over these last several years, seeing the challenges that they face, seeing a resurgence of racism throughout America. We must take this moment to end it. And so I thank you all for the work that you're doing. I know it is difficult work. I thank the Board of Trustees for being behind this work, for our former supervisor for being a leader in this work. And we look to you, to Southwestern College, to be a leader in the state of California. So we will be behind you in that effort. I and the Board of Governors will continue to work to focus on things like many of the things you're already working on, police reform up and down the state, diversity amongst our faculty, amongst our staff, and amongst our administrators, so that when students walk in the door on campus, they see themselves in the classroom, in the hallways, in the president's office, wherever that might be. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is also one of our top priorities. The other things that we're working on are, again, bringing more resources to the faculty and staff of Southwestern College to help as you begin to think about the future of higher education here in this community. The pandemic has challenged all of us, but through those challenges, we've seen a myriad of opportunities as well. We've seen a myriad of opportunities on how we can be more flexible for our students, how we can meet students where they're at. So we're going to be working hard to ensure that there are resources in technology so you can hold on to the technology gains that you've made here, resources to help you become more flexible for working adult learners. And you all know this. I know in your state of the district, I heard a lot of these themes. But there is a huge enrollment decline, not just in California, but across the country. And this is primarily affecting working adults and individuals of color, particularly men of color. These are challenging times, and we have to be in a position where we can reach those students where they're at, not continue to wait for them to come on our campuses. We have to meet them where they're at. They need us now more than ever because this economy is demanding that students, that individuals seeking work have the skills necessary in order to compete. So we have to meet them where they're at. So we're going to be working hard in Sacramento to create opportunities, to share resources with you that help you adapt your schedules, your pedagogy, your instruction to meet students where they're at and not just close the gap that we see in enrollment decline, but allow you to expand enrollments and reach more students where they're at today. So we're going to keep pushing there as well. On the federal level, I'm always forever grateful to this administration because they have made community colleges their number one higher education priority. Whether that be, yes. And it's clear who we have to thank for that, the First Lady herself, Dr. Joe Biden. But I know that the Biden administration will continue to put community colleges at the front of the line. I hope that you continue to work with us to push our representatives in Congress to continue to push for passage of the Build Back Better budget proposal, passage of a number of other issues that will help students here in this community. But I'm very hopeful over these next couple of years about the amount of investment that we will see. We already have seen a lot of investment, whether that be through the American Recovery Plan, whether that be through the HERF funds or the CARES Act funds, or the myriad of resources that have been brought to bear in communities like this. But we need to see continued investment at the federal level, so we're going to continue to push there as well. So, I know there'll be time to talk with your esteemed Superintendent President. We'd love to answer his questions, but let me end my comments here. I am so incredibly proud and grateful for the work that you do here. And I'm not just talking to the faculty and staff and the students here, I'm talking to the community as well. These colleges like Southwestern College are community colleges. They embody the community. And it is about serving the top 100% of students in this community. Not the few that have the privilege of going on, but everyone. And so I'm proud to represent Southwestern College. I'm proud to represent the students here and the work that all of you do in this community. So thank you for that work, and I look forward to continuing to work with your leadership and with all of you here at Southwestern College.
Thank you, Chancellor Oakley. I'm going to ask Superintendent President Dr. Mark Sanchez to come up board. We're running a little late, but we do want to make sure that the audience has an opportunity to ask any questions if you have any. And thank you to all of those who are logging on and also watching us through live stream. So if you have a question, raise your hand and we'll come and find you with the microphone. And don't feel pressured. We can also get out early. Yes, Dr. Sanchez has the first question.
Chancellor Oakley, you talked about removing the SAT requirements from university entrance, which we know is a historical barrier to
Yes.
students and students of color getting into the university. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I feel very confident that you will not see the SAT and the ACT again at the University of California. So I'll start there. The Cal State University system is moving in the same direction. We still have a lot of private universities that are thinking about it. So I hope that we can work together to apply pressure on our private universities. Many of them went test optional during the pandemic. Some of them are considering adopting it again, but in my estimation, I feel strongly that these standardized admissions exams have been used for nothing more than to keep students out of our university systems. They have done nothing to improve diversity or equity in higher education, and it's time that we said goodbye to them. So I'm just going to keep pushing as hard as I can, and I hope that we can work together to do that.
Other questions? Oh, there's one right over here.
Chancellor, you talked about meeting the students where they're at, and I totally believe with you in that, because so many people don't even think about college as being an option because nobody's had the conversation with them on that. I remember our local mayor many years ago had a campaign of asking everyone in the community to ask the kids, where are you going to go to college, to plant that seed in their mind. What's your thoughts on meeting the students where they're at to give them the seed and plant that seed with them?
So I'll try to give a short answer to that. But today, higher education in all of its forms are such an important ingredient to the future of anybody in this community. We know how much greater your lifetime earnings are going to be if you have a chance to gain a credential in higher education. We know how likely, how much your health outcomes are going to improve, how much the future of your family is going to improve in terms of economic mobility. And higher education today means lots of things. It means a career credential, it means transferring, it means a lot of things in between. It means gaining access to skills that you need to get a promotion. So we have to think about it in terms of not just the traditional student, although we need to do more to ensure that we are working with young people, with families, to understand what it means to access Southwestern College. Because even though we are the lowest tuition in the country, in the California community colleges, even though we have open access, families still struggle to figure out how their sons or daughters are actually going to go to college. So we have to do much more. And then in terms of working learners, I mean, we have single mothers struggling to figure out how to find childcare. We have fathers trying to figure out how to balance working 2 and 3 jobs and go to school. We have to bend ourselves to meet them where they're at. So we've got to do a much better job of being flexible. Unfortunately, that's what the for-profit industry has done better than we have, without the quality that we deliver. So we need to bring that same quality with the same flexibility and give our students a chance to get a high-quality education without being crippled by debt.
Thank you. Dr. Sanchez, did you want to address that question at all?
No, just if I'll add a piece is just on the meeting students where they're at. We've done a lot of things to try to get our brand in the community, just to let students know that we're there. Our student affairs and outreach team has we just purchased an outreach van through the support of our business and financial affairs office, because we want to be able to take admissions and records out into the community through our outreach van. We also have digital signage at the border, marketing Southwestern College. So really just putting our brand in those spaces in the communities that we know are looking for our services, and so really being intentional through that. And so it's always nice to hear students get feedback saying, I saw the signage when I was coming across the border for Southwestern College. And so it really is just about putting what we do in the communities that we know need to be served.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Oh, right in the middle and then one in the back. The question, oh, you got a microphone?
Testing?
There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you so much. Could you give us an update where the community college district is with respect to adoption and implementation of ethnic studies curriculum across all of the campuses?
Yeah, we do have an ethnic studies curriculum. It's really defined as Asian American Pacific Islanders courses, African American Studies courses, Mexican American Studies courses. So our faculty and curriculum have developed, are developing the work to actually formalize an ethnic studies component. And if you look on our website right now, we're actually hiring ethnic studies faculty for next fall. So that work is being done. It's always been there. It's just becoming now more formalized as a true ethnic studies program. So.
Yeah, and across the state, my office works closely with the statewide academic senate, and they have been working together to formalize, their guidance for all academic senates in the state around ethnic studies. So I think we're pretty far along, and we've got excellent team working with the Chancellor's office from your statewide academic senate on these issues. I mean, obviously, communities like this are probably moving much faster than other communities, but we're pushing all across the state to get this implemented.
Thank you. Before we get to the next question, while the microphone is making its way, I just want to recognize Supervisor Vargas does have to leave for another appointment. So Supervisor Vargas, if you could come up, we did actually bring you a little thank you to come and welcome back. So I'm going to hand that to you now.
Before I leave, can we just thank Superintendent President Mark Sanchez for everything that he has done in such a short amount of time and through a pandemic, please? And to everyone else. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have one more question in the back.
Yes, thank you for being here today. I teach in communication studies, and I'm a faculty member here who first started working on guided pathways when it was brought to Southwestern College. So I'm very curious about AB 928, the Student Transfer Achievement Reform Act, and I'm wondering if you have any information on how it is going and how that single transfer pathway is progressing.
So there's a lot of work being done, again, at the state level between my office and the statewide academic senate around the associate degree for transfer in general. Some of you may or may not know that the statewide academic senate represents us on a group called ICUS. ICUS brings together the leadership of the academic senates from the CSU, from the UC, and from the community colleges. They're working through their issues on the piece of legislation that recently was adopted. The Chancellor's office is also preparing to bring forward to the Board of Governors the enabling regulations. So the work is moving well. Again, this builds on the associate degree for transfer that we are already successful at implementing, need to continue to implement, and we need to continue to streamline those pathways. Part of it requires that our colleagues in the CSU and the UC also come along at the same pace, and we're hoping to get us all moving in the same direction at the same pace. But thus far, I feel comfortable with the way things are moving. Again, transfer is such an important element for our students, and the faster we streamline those pathways, the better off our students are going to be.
Thank you. And with that, we're going to kind of close down the questions, but Chancellor Oakley and Dr. Sanchez will be here. We want to thank you so much for coming out to our college. And there are a few thank yous that I want to say. To those who are dialed in through YouTube, thank you for joining us. Those of you who came in person, we will still have food and desserts on the patio. I also want to remind everyone that Adam's Family, you see the dark forest over there, is going to be playing March 21st through March 26th, right here. Come and support our students. The flower arrangements on the stage were made by our landscape nursery technician students. And this event would not have happened without a very excellent planning committee. So I want to recognize Lillian Leopold, Brenda Mora, Benny Pastrana Ruiz, Claudia Ocusta, Angela Riggs, Sofia Salgado, Brandon Watterson, and our volunteers today, Erica Johnson, Amy Bosler, Myra Lomahan, Mark Kokliser, Carmen Cortez, and Andrea Claytis. Can we give them a round of applause? I would like to ask our board members who are here to join us on stage. We are going to do a board picture with Chancellor Oakley. And for all of you in the audience, I invite you to go outside, grab some dessert, grab some food, and we will meet you out there on the patio. Thank you so much.
All right, good job.
Great being here. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. Oh.